Anastasia, a fashion designer with over 20 years of experience and a sewing educator. And I'm really excited you're here to share another sewing adventure with me today. Welcome to Sewing Anastasia's 12 Days of Christmas. December 1st to the 12th, I will be putting out a new tutorial every single day. All of these tutorials are going to be about creating gifts that you can give this holiday. These are going to be super easy DIY gifts that you can make right at home. There's nothing better than getting and receiving DIY holiday gifts. Speaking of gifts, I am giving away a sewing machine this holiday. I'm giving away this brand new, beautiful Husqvarna Viking Jade 20 sewing machine. All you have to do is enter the giveaway, and the link is down below in the description with all of the details. This contest starts December 5th and goes through December 15th, and I will be picking a winner on December 20th. So tell all your friends and family and make sure you get your entries in. I cannot wait to read your posts on what inspires you to sew. It is super easy to enter, and how amazing would it be to win a new sewing machine for Christmas, or you could even give it as a gift. And don't forget, all of the details are down below in the description for how to enter. And if you're not already a subscriber to Sewing Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And don't forget, I now teach sewing classes in my design studio in Chicago, Illinois, and I teach virtual lessons as well. So make sure you check those out at sewinganastasia.com. Today in the 12 Days of Christmas, we are gonna make a fake fur baguette purse. And no, it's not for a baguette, like a piece of bread. It's just a cute little bag, and it's called a baguette. It's kind of like Skipper to Barbie. This is baguette to bag. This bag is super cute and super on trend, and they are everywhere right now. So I was like, we have to make one. So follow along and let's make one together. Supplies for this project are as follows. You're going to need your scissors. You're going to need some matching thread. You're also going to need some super fun chain for the handles or some sort of handle that you would like to put on your bag. You're also going to need a zipper. I'm going to be using an invisible zipper for this purse. You're also going to need some super fun fake fur, about a half of a yard. You're also going to need some lining fabric of your choice. And you're also going to need some bag interfacing. So for the bag interfacing, I'm using a fusible foam. And that's it. That's all you need to create this super cute bag. Except for the pattern, which you can download at sewinganastasia.com under digital downloads. The first thing you need to do is cut out your paper pattern. So let's go over it. The side of the bag, the bigger piece, you're gonna need to cut 2 of the fur and 2 of the lining. The smaller one is just for the interfacing, and you're gonna have to cut 2 of that. And the interfacing patterns have no seam allowance on them. And then for the side of the bag, there's an interfacing pattern that's just cut 1. And then there's a larger side bag pattern piece. You're gonna cut 1 for the self and 1 for the lining. And then you're gonna have these little tab patterns, so that way we can attach the chains to the bag. And you're gonna cut 2 of these. And then there's this little skinny rectangle strip, and that's gonna be for putting in the zipper. And we're gonna cut 4 of those. Now that you have all the paper pieces cut out, you want to cut out the corresponding fabrics for all of them. Now that you have everything cut out, it should look something like this. Next, we're going to fuse the interfacing to the wrong side of the fur. We have the sides of the bag and the bottom of the bag. So we're just going to place this down with the glue side face down and iron it on. So I have my interfacing ironed onto the fake fur, and it is nice and stiff now, which is awesome. So I totally forgot I had a double fuse interfacing, so all I did was put an extra piece of lining down on the other side of the interfacing when I ironed it down, and voila, we are all good to go. So basically I just cut an extra set of lining and fused it to the other side of the bag. But if you're using single fuse interfacing, then you're not gonna have a lining fused to it. But if you too buy double fuse interfacing by accident, go ahead and just fuse an extra piece of lining to the back of it. The next thing we're gonna do is sew the sides of the bag to the bottom shape of the bag here. So we wanna make sure we're placing right sides together, and we're gonna work our way in this curved shape. And then when we're done, it's going to look something like that, with the bottom of the bag coming up to the sides, and then we have the sides of our bag attached. Okay, so let's sew both of these sides together, and I'm going to be using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. When you get to the end, backstitch and cut. Now that we have this side attached, it's time to do the exact same thing for the other side. So right sides together, sew this curved shape to the underbag part. So I sewed the other side up, and now we have the shell of our bag. You can see we got the inside here, and we've got our nice plush fake fur outside. And our next step is sewing together the lining pieces the exact same way we just sewed this up. Don't forget your seam allowances on here are 3/8 of an inch. Make sure you backstitch. Keep lining up your edges. When you get to the top, backstitch and cut. Now that you have your lining sewn up, it should look something like this, kind of like Santa's sleigh. Next, grab the tabs for your straps, and we're gonna fold them right sides together and just do a 1/4 inch seam right down the edge, and then we're gonna flip them right side out. Make sure you backstitch at the beginning or fix. Backstitch and cut. Now what we want to do is flip it right side out. So grab your safety pin, go ahead and just pin one side of it, and then take the head of the safety pin, push it down, and pull, and there we go. Now we're right side out. Now all we need to do is iron these down, and we're good to go. Now that we have both of these little tabs ironed, we are going to fold them in half so the wrong sides are meeting together. And then we're gonna go ahead and place them in the center of the side of the bag, and we're just gonna stitch these down. We just need these to stay in place so that way when we sew our lining on later, we know exactly where they're at. And these little tabs are for attaching our straps later on. Don't forget to backstitch. You just sew across the top, backstitch again, and cut. It's that easy. Now that we have the little tabs attached on the side, it should look something like this for you, and we'll get back to these later. Next, we're gonna move on to prepping the zipper. I'm going to be using an invisible zipper for the top of this bag because that's all I have laying around, so it's a little bit untraditional, but I'm gonna show you how to do it because I bet you have one laying around too. Otherwise, you could use a 10-inch non-separating zipper. What we're gonna do is take 2 of these long rectangles. We are going to place one on the top and one on the bottom. And we are going to just sew real close to the invisible zipper. So that way, when we're finished, we're going to have the zipper caught in between these 2 layers. Make sure you put on your zipper foot so you can sew close to the zipper teeth. Now we're not doing a traditional invisible zipper method, so you don't want to sew right next to the teeth. You kind of want to sew in the middle of the zipper tape. Don't forget to backstitch and make sure all your layers are nice and lined up. When your zipper gets in the way, you can go ahead and lift up your foot and zip up your zipper, and then continue sewing down the rest of the way. When you get to the end, I want you to leave your needle in and turn. Sew all the way down and cut. Now we're gonna go back and we're gonna sew this end shut too. Just make sure that your zipper's open and you're not catching the other side of the zipper in this. When you get to the end, backstitch and cut. Now what we're gonna do is flip it right side out. So you wanna get that zipper and pop it out. And now we've got the zipper sandwiched in between these 2 layers here, and it looks nice and clean. Now that we have it nice and ironed, you can see that we have a finished edge on the top and a nice finished edge on the back, and it's holding the zipper in place. Now what we want to do is go ahead and just give this a nice little edge stitch to make it look even cleaner. Backstitch at your end and cut. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing for the other side of the zipper here. Just make sure you're sandwiching it in between both of the layers. Give it a nice top stitch because we need to have this little extra flap here because this is gonna be the top of our bag. So now we have one on the bottom of the zipper and we have one on the top of the zipper, and we can go ahead and just sandwich it in between those two layers. So just go ahead and do it the exact same way we did the other one. Now that we have our zipper inserted in the pieces of fabric, we are ready to attach it to the top of the bag. Make sure you unzip it halfway at least, so that way later we can flip it right side out. So I've turned my bag inside out, and now what we need to do is make sure we're facing our zipper right side to the right side of the fur. So we're just gonna be sewing this piece right here, and then we're gonna come to the other side, and then we're gonna sew the other side of the zipper flap over here. And just make sure you leave your zipper at least halfway undone, otherwise you're not gonna be able to turn your bag right side out. We're gonna be lining up the edge of our zipper flap fabric over here with the very edge of the fake fur. And we're gonna stitch 3/8 of an inch in. So let's sew that zipper in. Make sure you back stitch or fix. Let's just follow the edge here. You get to the end, back stitch and cut. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Back stitch and cut. So we are all finished here with the top zipper flap. So I've sewn it to the bottom and I've sewn it to the top edge. It is open on the ends of the zipper because we finished those nice little edges earlier when we put the little zipper flaps on. Now we're ready to put our lining in. So grab your lining and make sure the right side is face out. We are going to insert it into our bag. And we're gonna sew all the way around the top, but we wanna make sure that our zipper is pushed to the inside, and we wanna make sure that our little end flaps are also pushed down. So we want everything down to the inside, and we're gonna line up the lining with the edge of the fur and sew 3/8 of an inch all the way around the top. Okay, let's stitch all the way around at 3/8 of an inch. Now we have the lining attached all the way around the opening of the bag. So you can see that this here is the lining, this nice soft part, and this here is the shell of the bag. So now what we need to do is just make a little opening in the lining and flip our bag right side out, and then we'll go back and finish that little opening. So I'm just going to make a little opening in the bottom of the bag here. So I'm just gonna open up one of the little seams, maybe like 3 inches. You could have left this opening as well while you were putting the bag together, but I always just like to close it up to work with it in one piece and then go back and seam rip it open. Okay, once you have your opening big enough, we're gonna take our bag and flip it right side out. Okay, check that out. There's the lining of our bag. We've got the outside of our bag. And now what we need to do is take this hole and close it up. So I want you to put the right sides together, push them in towards each other. This is kind of like finishing the hole in the lining of a jacket. And then we're gonna go ahead and just edge stitch this opening. So let's sew up that hole and then put our straps on. Make sure you're back stitching and also make sure you're edge stitching. You want this stitch really close to the edge. Back stitch and cut. Now your bag should be looking something like this, cute and plush on the outside, nice and finished on the top with a zipper. Then what you want to do is take the chain for your strap, and right where the opening is in the chain, you want to slip your little tab that's on the purse through that. Okay, so we are just going to push that in there, and turn it around so it's on the opposite side, and there we go. It is attached and hanging. So now I need to do the exact same thing to the other side. We did it, we finished it. I just love the big chunky handle on this. I love this plush fur. It is just so cute and beautiful. It's ready to gift, or you could wear it out on the town. The great thing about this bag is you can choose whatever kind of fur you want, whatever kind of strap you want. Maybe you want to use felt on the outside of the bag. Maybe you want to use leather. It's completely up to you and your style. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today. I hope you had fun making this fake fur tote with a chain handle. I know I'm loving it. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up, give it some applause, and leave a comment down below. I would love to know what you thought of it. Or what color fur or fabric would you make it out of? Also, don't forget, I'm giving away a sewing machine this month, so make sure you enter. It's super easy to enter, and all the details are down below in the description. So don't forget to add me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all those fabulous social media websites, so that way we can stay connected and inspired and creative together. And don't forget, this video is a part of the 12 Days of Christmas, so make sure you check out all the other gift-giving DIY ideas. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!